Subscribe and click on the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest videos.
Hi everybody, I am Chef Jesu. Now we are going to see a new interesting recipe. What is the concept of this recipe is nowadays there is a wide varieties of food themes are coming out into the industry, like the paleotic, like the ketogenic. One among that is called as a Sattvic. Now what is Sattvic? Sattvic cuisine is also called as a yoga cuisine, which is recommended for the people who are constantly focusing on yogas. Now Sattvic is a word which derives from the Ayurvedic cuisine, of course the Sanskrit. Ayurveda, Ayur means life and Veda means science. So the science of life, that's Ayurveda. So under the Ayurveda there is a three concepts of food. They divide the people consuming food into three parts. One is Rajasic, Tamasic and Sattvic. Now the third category is the Sattvic. I will discuss more about the Rajasic and Tamasic while preparation. Now we will see what is that Sattvic. Sattvic is recommended for the people who does good yogas. So now the dish, there is a wide do's and don'ts under the Sattvic, and now we are going to see one among the Sattvic dish is called as the Ulundam Pal Payasam. So there is a wide list of dishes under the like snacks and the main course, appetizers, soups and all. But when you come back to the desserts, the list and the varieties is quite less. So one among that what we are going to see now is a dessert called Ulundam Pal Payasam. So for that, very simple ingredients which require, which is already there in our home. We are going to see what is that is the main ingredient of this dish is ulundu. It's also called as the urad dal. It's a split black gram in English, what we call it as. So this ulundu, the health benefits, if you see it, it's really good for bones. It is rich in protein. It is rich in dietary fiber. It is good for diabetics. It will really good immune system. So all wide varieties of health benefits are there in this ulundu or urad dal. Now in the ulundu is actually soaked for just half an hour in a cold water and grind. Okay. So now we are going to start on the preparation. First I am going to add the ulundu, the paste into the pan. So just heat the pan into it and add just one bowl. One bowl of thick ulundu. And just the same amount of water to it. See, ulundu has to be normally well washed and then you soak it. Normally what is a common mistake normally people does is, they just soak the urad dal for almost half an hour or even 2 hours, and then they wash and then they strain. So by doing that, what happens is the nutrients of the urad dal is go to the water by soaking, and when you are straining it out, all the nutrients goes away from the dish. So to ensure that, first you just wash the urad dal well and remove all the extra dust out of it, and then you soak it, so that you use the water in which it has been soaked for grinding. Now how many times to wash? This is a questions normally comes out. How many times should I wash the dal? How many times should I wash rice? I would say just one simple technique. The water, the clarity of water you pour into the dal needs to come out the same clarity when you are washing, rinsing and pouring it back. So until that you have to wash. It can be either 2 times or sometimes it is 3 times. So now the dal and the water, it's slowly getting thickened. Now we add the coconut milk to it. Now this dish is basically does not have any dairy products as well. So it is actually a vegan too. So just in a slow flame, keep on cook. Now you just keep on boil until it becomes thick as well, and the raw flavor of the urad dal needs to go off. That is very important. So I was just telling about the Ayurveda food. Now Ayurveda is of course it belongs to our ancient India, and the concept, what is that Ayurveda talks about the food, is very interesting. Ayurveda says that 3 points, 3 concepts. Number 1, the food serves not only to the body, it serves to the mind and soul. So if you want to have a good thought, you need to be chosen with your food as well. And the second point is 90% of disease comes because of the wrong diet or wrong timing of your consuming. So this the second point what Ayurveda says. And the third point is very interesting. Food is your medicine. In the ancient days, if you see, if somebody is fallen sick, they don't go to immediately pharmacy like how we do now. Immediately the mom or the old parents, they go to the kitchen and change the diet. So the food becomes our medicine. So that is the 3 concepts what the Ayurveda says. And under the Ayurveda food, as I told you, the Rajasic food is a food which will give you the qualities for the kings, the ruling power, the dictating tactics. So it says that if you consume those types of foods, you will have those type of the king qualities. That's called Rajasic. And the second thing is called the Tamasic. Tamasic is a food which is the qualities which will give you for common people. Like the common people, whoever is all working in all wide varieties of industries. And the third one is very important. It's called the Sattvic, which is served for the yogas, the yogis. So Sattvic food, if you consume the Sattvic food, you will feel more compassion, you will feel more love, you will have a qualities of forgiving people. If you put a list of all those dishes, it will be served for the yogis who is doing all yogas and all. So nowadays the main concept is, nowadays people are going under stress a lot. So they go for a yoga and they reduce the stress. Now doing a yoga for almost 2 hours and coming out, if they consume a wrong diet like Rajasic or Tamasic, then the main objective of doing the yoga, it is getting unbalanced. So the concept now it is very widely going up is called the Sattvic food, or also called as the yoga food. So under this yoga food, one is this Ulundampal Payasam. Now the raw flavor of the dal is almost off and it is getting thick. I can get a good flavor of the coconut milk what we have added. Now we add the sweetening agent. Sweetening agent, there is a wide varieties of sweetening agent like sugar, honey, beet juice, maple syrup and golden syrup. So here we are going to add the jaggery. The jaggery syrup. Jaggery syrup, I hope everybody know how to make it. You break the jaggery into the pan, pour just half the water and bring it to boil. So slowly it gets melted and you strain it using a thick cloth, a muslin cloth. Now sugar is one ingredient which recently came in a few centuries back. But originally if you see it, palm jaggery is really good for health. Palm jaggery has got rich iron in it. Whereas the refined sugar, the sugar what we use, the white sugar, it's also called as a refined sugar, which is actually called as a refined. So no nutrients is there except the simple carbohydrate and glucose. So when you are having that, you are not having this amount of iron what is present in the jaggery syrup. So it's really good for health, the jaggery. For diabetes patients alone, you be a little conscious. You want to use any sugar substitute at this point, you can go ahead with that. Yeah, now again the consistency of the payasam, it's coming back. Now we are almost towards the end of the cooking. Now the final is we add the dry ginger powder, also called as the sukku. Sukku is really good for health. It helps in digestion. So you add the sukku. So normally in Indian cuisine, we have this desserts by the end of the meal, the payasam normally. So when you have a big meal of a lunch or a dinner and finally you have this dessert, it is both nutritive as well as it will be act as a good digestive as well. So nice, the chukku flavor is there. And just ensure, you have to keep on stir, ensure that no lumps is formed, that is very important. If you keep it in a high heat, what happens is the coagulation happens a little faster and the proteins, it gets coagulated fast and become lumps. So to avoid that, you adjust your temperature. Right now in this induction, I just kept at 350 degrees Celsius. In home, if you are using a direct fire, you can cook it in a low flame. Now finally, we add some cashew nuts. So cashew nut, it is optional. If you want, you can add the cashew nut. Otherwise, you can just avoid it. For kids, normally if you add the cashew nut, they will have this crunchy taste while having the food. So we are towards the end. Optional is grated coconut. If you want, you can add. Otherwise, if you don't want, you don't feel like having that chunky coconut, you can avoid that and just finally finish it off. So here is our Ulundampal Payasam. There are good sattvic food, vegan food, healthy food and nutritive. It's really good for bones, health and digestion. It's ready. Yeah, now coconut milk. The reason why we have the coconut milk instead of the dairy milk is even the vegan concept. What is the main objective of the vegan is they say that the dairy products, the milk is made for its own calf. The cow's milk is for its calf. Why should we have it? Now that is based on the social responsibility, they say that. But if you see it on one more point, very important point, what the vegan says is, if you have an animal milk, you will have the qualities of that animal as well, which is scientifically have some sense as too. So people are avoiding any animal products. So vegan will not have any of the dairy products like a milk, cheese, butter, cream and even honey as well. Honey also is being avoided because though the honey comes from the flower and goes to the nectarine of the honey bee, it goes into the animal body and comes out as a saliva. So that also vegan avoids that. Now the health benefits of the coconut is very rich in good fat. There's the two types of fat, saturated and unsaturated. This is a good fat which is having a monounsaturated. The saturated fats are like butter, margarine and lard. So these are the things which to some extent is really bad for health. Whereas the coconut is having a monounsaturated which is good for health, which will give you good cholesterol. So now the Ulundampal Payasam is ready. It's ready for serving. It's even a oil free too. You want as an optional, if you want to add a dash of ghee to it, you can do it, but it's not mandatory. So nice creamy urad dal payasam, Ulundampal Payasam. Ulundu is the urad dal and pal is we are added the coconut milk. It's ready. This is good for all aged people, either kids or even as seniors. You can have it as an optional. I'm just adding some cashew nut to it as a garnish. Here we go. So this Ulundampal Payasam is ready. When you compare it with the normal regular desserts, it is really unique and it's very healthy as well. So enjoy this dessert. Hope you like this video. Thank you for watching.